Cash crops or vegetable? A lot of people don't really know what to farm when they are starting out as a farmer. You would get the questions of how do I know which crop is going to make me rich, or what do I have to farm? And most often out of that question you have questions of cash crop or vegetables. The honest truth is vegetables are quick cash but very stressful and short term. And cash crops are usually long term, mostly long term, always long term. Why do people choose to go into cash crops and why do people choose to go to vegetables? To me, I say it's a calling. Most people would rather go for veggies because the money is quick, the returns is quick, and it's usually high, and that has its disadvantage. And with the cash crops, it stays for long, so you can harvest cash crops for more than 100 years. Some of them were maybe 50 years, but proper cash crops like cocoa, cashew, timber, those crops usually are harvested for a long time. And with vegetables, it can be just 3 months. The longest a perennial might go would be 2 years, and that is if the care is very good. Your agronomic practices are on point. You'd have that returns. Why cash crop? Cash crop because in the long run, the workload is less. More so, you don't really need to stress in everyday farm visits. So far as you are able to get it established in maybe 6 months, a year, they are fully established. The remaining time would then be just clearing and allowing nature to take care of the irrigation problem. But you don't get that from vegetables. Vegetables, you need to always be at the farm, always clear, take care of pests, make sure irrigation is on point. All those things are very much a problem when it comes to veggies, unlike cash crops. First, you might have that problem when you are starting out with a cash crop. For example, when you are doing something like coconut. Coconut is a long-term crop. It takes between 3 to 5 years to start maturing up. And the first year and a half is going to be very stressful. That's when you have to make sure there is water, there is enough nutrients, it is getting good attention. After a year and a half, you are good to stay home and just come and clear and then wait for harvest. Unlike that, a crop like tomatoes, after you transplant, every single day you need to be on the field. You need to be assessing the leaves. You need to see the changes in nutrients. You need to see if there is a pest that is actually attacking it. And that is the kind of stress a lot of people don't really want to go through. That's why they go for cash crops. What will be the disadvantages? The disadvantage will be with a cash crop, you would have to wait for after 5 years, probably, to start earning. That is not even the peak of the earning. That's the beginning of the harvest. Even after 5 years, the harvest is going to be very small. So before the 5 years, you'd have to be clearing. Your input cost is just going up, although it is spread across, but you still have them going up. And as far as the costing goes, there is no returns until you start harvesting. With your harvesting, the money you're going to get from the first harvest will not be enough to take care of your capital that you've invested. That's the disadvantage. The returns is usually not that high and it's not that quick. And the second thing is you could spend a lot of years nurturing a crop, and when it's time for it to give you the fruits that you desire, it would give you something that you don't desire. And the returns is usually mostly just might not be how you anticipated it. Maybe fewer yields. Maybe even the seedlings you bought would not be yielding exactly what you wanted it to yield. Maybe it's a dwarf coconut they're supposed to get, but you now ended up getting a different breed. Maybe it's, how do I put it? Maybe it's the local The kwashi cocoa you were hoping for, but then you got a hybrid, which would not taste the same, will not be the same size. So that is a disadvantage you look out for from a cash crop. Another disadvantage is that with a cash crop, when you harvest, and it's not usually they come in seasons. Okay, for example, if there's a season for orange, you have most of the farmers harvesting during that time. So the price of the produce that you were expecting to get returns from would fall, and you will not be able to control it. And that would be the disadvantages for the cash crop. And with the disadvantage for vegetables, you would have to always be on the field. That's the first thing. You would have to, it needs so much attention that you don't have breathing space. And the returns is, although high and fast, is quick to end. Unlike cash crops that can be spread across many years. People even will cash crop to their children, but you can't will vegetables to your children, unless of course you died when you're about to harvest. That's when your children will now enjoy. Yes, you died before your children would see the returns, but other than that, vegetables won't go that way. And the disadvantage for the vegetables, I should say, is it doesn't do well on its own in terms of environmental factors affecting it. Unlike cash crops, where most of the crops are tree crops that can actually survive on their own even if the owner is not around. You would not have a mango dying out of drought. Best case scenario, to shed its leaves and then wait for the rains. But vegetables would not survive that. So that's a disadvantage for vegetables. Now, which should you choose to plant? For me, farming is a calling. For me, if you want to farm, follow your heart. What do you look out for? Presently, I'm trying to incorporate cash crops with vegetables. It's doable. I mean, waiting for a long run to get returns is usually difficult. Looking at the amount of capital you need to invest in it, especially if you're a full-time farmer. So farming vegetables can cater for your needs whilst you are farming cash crops. And that is the ultimate. Because at the end of the day, if you're a farmer, you don't expect everybody in your family to follow that footsteps. Your children will not want to always be following your footsteps in that direction. So if you have a cash crop, they can just be harvesting and enjoying the fruit of your labor when you are not there. Unlike vegetables, where it's not so easy for them to enjoy the same thing. So you can incorporate both. If need be, as a full-time farmer, vegetables should be easier, or fruits should be easier, short-term fruits. But if you want to go into cash crops, please do a little more research. I would have a separate video about cash crops, which cash crops fetching and how to go about them, and the stress involved and the work involved. I already have videos on vegetables, so I have a lot of videos on vegetables on my channel. You can just go and visit any of them and it will help. Once again, my name is Veggie Father. I'm currently recovering from an eye, I don't know if I should call it infection or generally difficulty with my eye. You can see my right eye, it's not really that. Yeah, it was very, very severe sometime back, but now I'm recovering. I think it's a week now I'm recovering. So subscribe to my channel if you want to get more educational videos like this. Share to people who want to start farming. The information should get to people, because I never got it doesn't mean people should not get it. So share to people that you know that would need this information, and share some and share your comments below. Follow me on X, follow me on TikTok, follow me on whichever social. I'm ready to answer your questions. Thank you very much for your continued support, and have a great day.